Hey guys, welcome back. I am trying to work these lessons up to the point where I can start a tutorial for my Easter sweater. Not for me. When I say my, I mean like I'm making it. It's a smaller project, so it'll probably fit a little girl if it doesn't fit my daughter, but I don't think it will. Okay. So in the last video, I showed you the single crochet stitch, the half double, double, and the triple. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use these stitches to make a band. So a band for example, a band for a hat like this, or for a sweater like so. It's ribbed, okay, so it's stretchy. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And in order to do this, it's a combination of basically you do half double crochet. It is mostly half double crochet. Okay, so I made my slip knot. Put your hook in the loop and chain 7. Depending on how large you want your band to be. So this is going to be a band for a sweater, the bottom of it. So it's going to be kind of a thicker band. If you wanted to do like sleeve cuffs, I might do 4 or 5, chain 5, because it would be a skinnier band if you did less chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to half double crochet into the second stitch from the hook, okay? So yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again, and pull through all 3 loops. Do that until you reach the end of the row, at which point you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work. So let me get to the end here. All right, there we go. That was my last one. So there are 6 in the row. Chain 1, turn your work, half double crochet into this stitch, the one next to the hook. Pull through all 3 loops. Now, instead of yarning over and half double crocheting through that, we still are using the half double crochet, but we're not going to go through this loop, okay? You're going to face this towards you. As you can see, it looks like it's the chain, right? So there's a chain, there's a chain, there's a chain, okay. And there's 2 loops in the top of each chain. So what we're going to do is yarn over, then we're going to go through this back loop only, okay? So instead of going to see, it leaves this front one, and this is how you get that ribbed effect. So yarn over again and pull through all 3 stitches. Do this until you get to the last stitch, and on the last stitch you're going to do a regular half double crochet through both loops. And you do that with the first, no matter how long your initial chain is, how wide your band is going to be, you're going to want to go through the first one, the whole thing, on the first and the last. And I'll show you why in just a second. So I went through that whole thing, not the back loop only. Chain 1, turn your work, go through the whole thing again. What this is going to do, going through both of those, is the whole way up the band on both sides, it's going to stabilize it. So back loop only for 4 stitches, 2, 3, 4, and then on the last one, go through the whole thing. Chain 1, turn your work. Also, because it's a half double crochet, some videos say to chain 2, but I feel like it makes this weird bump on the side, so I don't do it. So I'm not saying that this is the right way to do it. I'm just saying that this is how I do it. So this is what works for me. This is, I end up with a neater line. If you have a better way to do it, please share in the comments, because I'm always willing to learn. I will not take offense to it. I like doing it correctly, or it's just whatever's easiest for you is how I do it anyway. I do what's easiest for me, and this is how I know to do it to make a neat line on the end. I'd love to hear tips on how you guys do it, so let me know. So basically, you repeat that step over and over and over again until your project is the length, or until your band is the length that you want it to be. So for a sweater, I mean, depending on who you're making it for, I'm just now breaking into making sweaters, so I'm kind of doing them a little bit smaller so I don't waste a ton of yarn if it doesn't end up working out, which does happen a lot. But basically, you can use this for a hat. I would recommend starting with hats and smaller projects before you go into sweater making, but I mean, when I first started crocheting, I didn't follow any patterns. It was confusing for me. I don't have the patience. I basically just kind of crocheted however I wanted. Now, one way that was easiest for me, and it just might be how I learn as a visual learner, it was great to watch other people crocheting in videos, and then I was able to pause and fast forward and rewind and whatever, and that's how I learned how to crochet. So just because somebody says this is the way you're supposed to do it, I mean, it's your hobby. They're going to be your projects. You do it however you want. That's the cool thing about crochet, is like, I feel like I could make whatever I wanted if it came down to it. And another cool thing is, when you're starting out, you're going to probably waste a lot of yarn on projects that don't turn out the way you want them to. And you can simply pull the yarn from that project. It's not ruined. You pull one string and the whole thing, you know, comes undone, and then you can reuse it, which is actually what I'm doing for this sweater. I'm pulling from this blanket to get this pink. See? Easy peasy. Alright, so as you can see, you end up with this nice ribbed band, and that's how you make that. So you keep doing that over and over and over until it gets long enough to make a hat or a sweater or whatever. So this one, I did the band that long, and then right here, where did I join that? Right here. So I just simply closed it and then crocheted it together. And I used my hook, not a darning needle. Now, darning needles are amazing, and I could not live without mine. It's super sharp. But the eye is big enough to get yarn through, which I love, because a lot of yarn needles are dull at the end, because they think you're just going through like one of these holes, which is super easy with a thin one or with a dull one. But this one, you can poke through anything because it's so sharp. I love it. It's my only one too, so I better not lose it. Anyway, rambling on. My next video is going to show you how to do the stitches in this Easter sweater. So it's kind of like an Easter basket, I think. And so I'm doing these 3 rows where it's like this pink and cream, and then I'm going to do cream, and there's going to be a bunny in this color on the sweater as well. So that will be my next video. See you guys soon.